Hello and welcome to another edition of Straight in the Training Ground. Not just any edition, the 100th episode extravaganza. We take it back to where it all began. The man who started this himself, my co-partner in crime, Ryan Rosmondo. Haven't been on for a while. How you been, my man?
I've been good. Yeah, I've been away for a while, but good to be back.
Well, our budgeting team here, we couldn't meet your contractual obligations after season one. A lot of things behind the scenes we don't want to get into, but we're glad to have you back for now.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll get that figured out. But I'm good doing pro bono stuff now. It's fine with me.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, lots changed since you've been on here last. Why don't you fill everybody in on your new coaching gig?
Yeah, well, I'm coaching the women's team at Wheeling University, so I've been drafted in to do that. Yeah, it's good. It's obvious, as we mentioned before, I used to coach on the men's side many years ago. So it's good to get back involved with the athletes on what was a very special campus, very special place to me, and also kind of a legacy NCAA soccer programs in Wheeling in the 80s and 90s with the men's team, and in the 90s with the women's team. So it's good to be back, and hopefully we can work and get this get the program to where we think we should be, which is contending for success.
Well, congratulations. That's great to hear. And, so you and I, just to take it back a little bit, rewind, we started this a couple of years ago, and, you and I have been good friends for a long time, and we bounced different ideas off of each other. And we eventually, in the winter, I get bored easily in the winter, and we said, hey, let's just try like a podcast, put on YouTube, Right. And so we tried it, and we had no idea what we were doing. And many could argue we still don't know what we're doing 100 episodes later. But nonetheless, let's take it back real quick, Ross, to our very first episode. Hello, and welcome to Straight from the Training Ground, episode 1. I'm Jason, joined along here with Ryan Wall.
Yeah.
There you go. Definitely, what do you think?
I was looked like I'm post-COVID, stuck in the house, different color, different size back then.
There you go. But you got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
So we started out. We made quite the journey ever since. We moved along here to our next episode.
A unique idea here with club soccer in the area that he is located in Cincinnati. So, Dan, thanks for joining us. We're glad to have you.
Well, thank you.
That was Inner Cincinnati. If you remember those guys, he created a club in Cincinnati for free for kids in the inner city. Still going strong, continues to grow every year. That was kind of our first interview.
Yeah,
someone other than us two.
no, that was great. I remember that interview, and it was great actually seeing somebody and talking to somebody who was doing what you and I have been complaining hasn't been happening enough, which is no cost, low cost soccer available for the masses. So he's actually doing it in Cincinnati, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and still going strong. So shout out to Inner Cincy. Make sure you check them out. We then tried to move things along and up the ante a little bit, so we took to the streets with Cousin Drew.
You get benefits for tanking the season. Well, how exciting would it be to get fans involved if we possibly could be playing in like MLS second division?
So Cousin Drew, we went to the Columbus Crew home opener. We were trying to drum up, some viewers, and how else, Roz, than to hit the streets and go out to the people. So we had a great time. We went out and handed some stickers out. We interviewed some people live. It's still on our channel if you want to go check that out. We talked about promotion relegation, oddly enough, which is still a hot topic. But we picked up a little bit of traction there by Cousin Drew hitting the streets.
Now it's great, isn't it? On location there. It must be the big budget.
That was it. We blew the whole budget.
Yeah.
Third episode. We're done.
Yeah.
It was all downhill. But yeah, so then as we continued to kind of navigate our way through, in the early days, you and I would text. We'd try to talk during the week. We were both, obviously busy with other stuff going on. But then we met a great guy for our next episode. What led you to the current job you have at the University of Virginia, and how you got here?
Yeah, so I am originally from the Basque Country in North Spain, and I come from a soccer family with my father playing professional.
None other than Iñaki. You remember that?
Yeah, Iñaki, the Spanish stat master.
Yeah, and he was the assistant at the Virginia women's program, and he has since been, he keeps in touch with us online through Instagram and things like that. And he's back in Europe now, coaching, I believe, a professional or helping at a professional women's level. But the best thing that I want to tell everybody is after we filmed that episode, you and I and Iñaki stayed on for probably like half an hour. You remember that? We just talked football and some great things. He was just a great guy.
Yeah, he was a good guy, and it was really interesting what he's doing. You know, I thought it was a bit of an eye opener.
Yeah, and people don't know about those things, but that's some of the stuff that I enjoy. Is that, you know, after we got done recording, we just all three hit it off and kept talking for like a half an hour. So great guy. And speaking of legends, that leads us to our next clip.
I like to be as efficient as possible. Sometimes our trainings might only be an hour, depending on. So there's a lot of off-season work and preparation that goes into having the ability just to go ahead and have a quick session.
The
Look at that guy.
great Tony Daniels.
The great Tony Daniels. I don't know if that's a COVID beer, but man, that was long and flowing. Looked lovely.
Yeah. I think that was a festive beer.
Festive, whatever it might have been. But Tony since has moved on to Ohio Dominican, where he's the women's head coach at Ohio Dominican University. So shout out to him. Great to have him on. But again, we took our show to, we had like a college questionnaire. I don't know if you remember that. We had him. We had our friend Sean on and a couple other coaches that we tried to do a little questionnaire with them. And that was pretty cool. But then we continued to try and navigate what the heck we should do with our podcast.
Matches in 7 days, if you count the trip that we had to West Virginia last Saturday. So yeah, it was a really busy week.
The OVPL, Rod.
The OVPL, the only league that matters.
The only league that matters. Is that their slogan, like on the back of their T-shirt?
Yeah, that should be our slogan for the OVPL. As you know, I coach in the OVPL with Highlanders, our club out of Wheeling, and yeah, it was just great. You know, we did all that free coverage for the OVPL, but obviously they didn't want free coverage, so we don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. OVPL, we were covering games, trying to get them some more kind of in the limelight and some more coverage, and it was a fun time.
Yeah, we had a good time, and I do want to give a shout out. We appreciate Brandon Ponchak and OVPL. We had a great time covering them over the summer. We put together a little weekly summary show. We showed league tables. And, you know, for me, you're coaching, so you're involved kind of at a different level. But for me, got involved with some of the different teams and were able to get out and watch some games and, interview some different coaches from around the league and some players, mainly some really good college players that were playing over the summer, following your team. So it was pretty cool. But again, we're very appreciative of that. And then we finally started to pick up some more traction, as if the OVPL wasn't enough.
Sure.
Our team captain spent 2 weeks in the Clinton County Jail for assault. I'm telling you, I could write a book about some of this stuff. But that Wilmington and Tiffin back then, they were the two big powerhouses.
So Scott Morrissey, our former head coach at the University of Rio Grande, we really appreciate him taking the time to hop on here with us. And that followed by our next one, which we'll get to here in a second, Roz. Those are the first two where we really started to kind of pick up some views. You know, Scott, very successful college coach. We've both known him for a long time. But the part I enjoyed was clips like that, stories that you and I have known him for a long time, and we still heard little stories that I never heard before.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I have to get Scott's got, how many years, 40 odd years of being involved in the college game, 30 plus head coach. I mean, it's there's not many people like that around. So it was good to have him on. I mean, I can probably think of just in one hand of people that have coached for 30 plus years in the college game. And so it was good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So very appreciative of Scott and all that he's done. And then our next guy, the same could be said for him. We're joined today by Coach Jay Martin, illustrious men's coach at Ohio Wesleyan University, the winningest coach in men's college soccer. He just picked up his 750th win. Again, Jay Martin, the all-time winningest college coach at any level, although you're right on his heels, Roz, right on his heels. But from Ohio Wesleyan men's program, I don't know how we fooled him into joining us, but just a great person, beside all of the things he's accomplished on the field and off the field as a coach, but just a great person. And again, some great stories.
No, he also had some really good nuggets as well about how to deal and how some of the situations he's dealing with in terms of players these days, as opposed to players probably back in our day, 20 plus years ago. Some of the demands that the players have these days, expectations, and how some of them are pretty damn unrealistic. So.
Yeah, and you talk about Scott, coaching for a long time at the University of Rio Grande. I mean, Jay Martin's been in it even longer than that, so over 40 years. And we had a great discussion with him, learning, how he's had to change, recognize that coaching's changed, and not just the game, but dealing with kids and the world we live in. So he had some great insight, which leads us to one more clip.
90% of what we do or more in terms of participants, but the emotional core of what we do has always been the programs that work out of shelters and recovery centers, et cetera. And we're very proud to have just announced that this summer we're going to host for the first time ever the Homeless World Cup in the United States in Sacramento.
And again, that was the CEO, Lawrence Kahn, and co-founder of Street Soccer USA. We had a great chat with him and a lot of the things that he's doing, kind of again along the lines that you and I are passionate about, providing street soccer and pickup soccer opportunities for kids in all neighborhoods and communities, which was kind of cool to hear about.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think it kind of dovetails into something you've been doing of late, right?
Yeah, the soccer neighborhood. We're very proud to announce we've had a couple of new partnerships, so check that out on the soccerneighborhood.com. But that wraps up our kind of first segment, looking back over the past couple of years. Roz, like I said, in all honesty, really appreciate all your help, because you and I both kind of tried to get this started, and really we had no idea what we were doing. We can both attest to that. And, we just kind of made it work. We keep trying to find different people that are out in their communities doing great things. And, one time, I don't remember how far along we were into it, I just kind of said that when I was editing. I looked back and I was like, well, that sounds kind of good. Maybe we should say that all the time. The people out in their communities, doing great things, which is really what it's all about. And I think that's what you and I are both passionate about.
No, and I think what's been good about this is we've met people and spoken to people who are doing some of the less well-known pieces of the game in this country. It's easy to get it is pretty easy to get a little bit disheartened at times, whether you're watching the national team underachieve, or whether you're getting stuck in pay-to-play soccer in the youth level. But there are a lot of people out there doing good things, doing street soccer, doing low-cost, no-cost club programs. There's a lot of that around, and this is, with your kind of energy on this, we've been able to find a lot of those people and speak to them. So it's been great.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's been really cool to, through social media, and, you and I always talk off camera all the time about the negativity of social media, but there are some positives, and, we've been able to meet a lot of people around the country that probably wouldn't have known otherwise, who are doing some really good things in their communities. And like you said, that's really, to me, whenever people have asked me, of course, you and I, we talk all the time about the Premier League and the Champions League and games, but we wanted to do something here on Straight from the Training Ground that brought some light and some respect and notoriety out there to people out in their communities that maybe people aren't aware of, that are doing some tremendous things for soccer in all facets. So really appreciate it, Roz, and thanks for taking the time to hop back on here with us. Hopefully we can get you on here again sometime without waiting a year or two, and meet those contractual obligations we might have. But thank you so much, for getting everything started. And with that, we have a few more clips we'll check into right now. And then that led us to meeting this guy. Check out the first time we met, our lovely podcast. Seems like a long time ago, Mike. So tell us a little bit about Soccer Rebellion, what it is, how it got started.
Sure. So the Soccer Rebellion really is a soccer movement dedicated to giving players a platform to be able to create America's soccer culture.
So there you go. Look at that guy.
Dude, I was in my car at a Planet Fitness. And that coat is sick, by the way.
It was nice, yeah.
Nice jacket.
You're looking good, but that was the first time we ever kind of chatted. I think we just connected through like social media.
Yeah.
And we hit it off. And then the funny part is, after our podcast, it kind of led to this.
What we thought of with a lot of these kind of organizations that are popping up that share these values is if maybe we created something where these platforms and these organizations live to where we can support one another.
We kind of kept talking after our first podcast, and then we kind of created the Soccer Neighborhood, which is a website, thesoccerneighborhood.com. It's still going strong. We have, I think, 30-some partners now around the country, and we've turned that into a street soccer pickup league here that I do in Columbus, Ohio, at Scottwood Elementary, and we have some plans in the way right now to branch out into some more schools. And we've created an Instagram page and a Facebook page all out of that idea. And that little video right there, whether you know it or not, is our most watched video. Somehow.
Really?
Over 100,000 views.
Wow.
From Mike D and the Soccer Neighborhood Idea. Maybe it's just because it's our shortest video. That might be.
Maybe that wasn't too much talking.
Yeah, but that kind of sparked the relationship that we have now with the Soccer Rebellion and a lot of the great things we've done. And then that led to our we participated a little bit with the MLS All-Star Game. You took the Soccer Rebellion tour on the road last summer, and we did a quick little interview about Columbus soccer culture with our man Ty Phillips from the Columbus Crew.
The way that we've shifted the soccer culture here, we have a club that plays really attractive football. We've got a coach that is absolutely incredible, right? We've got the players that have the personality that you talk of outside of the match day.
You were listening so intently on that one. Look at that.
Ty's a great guy. When he talked, that was a great episode, first of all.
That was.
And I was so geeked to be able to be at the part of the All-Star Game. That's where I met Sasha.
Yeah, that was great, man.
That was a great event.
That was great. So appreciate you letting us be a part of that. That was that was the first time we saw a Soccer Rebellion tournament live in person. And you did a great job with that at Easton Town Center in Columbus as part of MLS All-Star Weekend. And from there, we went on and knocked out a few more shows along the way. This is the cup.us. And how did you first become involved?
Yeah, sure. So the cup.us is, like you said, largest media coverage of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
So the cup.us is a website. They're mainly all volunteers, and they cover the U.S. Open Cup. And you know our love for the U.S. Open Cup and the FA Cup and those kind of competitions. So those guys do a great job. Really appreciate them hopping on our podcast. And if anyone out there ever wants to become a part of that, they're always looking for people out in your communities to help cover games. Even if you don't have a team in your area, you can write articles. You can help with social media. It's an amazing group of people that continue to really, they're the only organization in the country that really provides media coverage for the U.S. Open Cup. So that was an amazing episode. We're really proud to be a part of that. We still help them whenever we can. It's cool to reach out in the community and see, like you said, so many kids grow up and now being out there on the training facilities playing and knowing that you have an impact in the community.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. It's amazing to see what, from the very start, a big part of what we wanted to do was be out there, active in the community.
So Niall McCabe from Louisville City, a great USL franchise. And again, they have the blueprint down for how to be a great organization. So make sure you check them out. And again, we always want to show love to the USL teams and different levels. But Niall McCabe was great. And then we went from him to an American soccer legend, Brian Maisonneuve.
But like you said, the prestige of playing in the World Cup. I remember I started against Germany in our first game. We ended up losing 2-0, but I was warming up, and across the field was Jurgen Klinsmann. Lothar Matthäus. These were guys that I watched growing up, and I actually had posters of them.
Oh,
again, awesome. Getting to chat with Brian Maisonneuve. He's currently the head coach of the Ohio State University men's soccer program. But it was great to have him on our podcast. He shared some great insight onto, he's played in a World Cup. He's been an MLS All-Star. He's played with the Columbus Crew. He won the Herman Award as a college player. So tons of great background there in the soccer world. Then we met a new person along the lines of parenting, your specialty in soccer, Mike D.
I think it's such a vital part of growing up because competition with your friends from school, your classmates, that makes memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah.
That creates friendships.
So Jonathan Carone from Healthy Sports Parents, make sure you check him out. He's doing some great things, has some great people on his podcast and on social media where he's really, in all seriousness, he's trying to help people like you and I and parents navigate this crazy youth sports world, not just in soccer, but AAU basketball, travel baseball and softball and club volleyball and soccer and all these things that can be very stressful for parents. So he has some great insight. Really urge you to check him out.
Be a student of the game. Just when you think you have figured it out, it might expand your mind. And, the way that we teach, you have to keep expanding what you know. It's not about what you tell the players what you know, but it is 100% about what you know.
That's Paul Marco, the head men's coach at Binghamton University, national
wise.
clinician. We met him. We saw him at the national convention again this year. But just a great guy, great coaching mind, and great, like I said, national clinician for the United Soccer Coaches Association. And moving along the same lines with the coaches.
Can we really get that game model to work the way I envision it to work? So that's what drives me every day, because I'll probably never get there, to where it just is like, that's the perfect picture, right?
None other than Randy Waldrum. He's won national championships at Notre Dame. He's currently the women's head coach at Pitt. He's coached in the 2023 World Cup. So just another phenomenal soccer person. Great soccer mind. Obviously, he's been around all levels of soccer, and his resume is amazing, but an even better person. He's one of those guys who will sit and talk soccer to you all the time. So just a great personality within the soccer world. And at the convention this year, we actually met our next guest on our podcast.
When I was in high school and we moved to Memphis, my dad had just kind of said, hey, let's go coach a church league basketball team together. And I was like, okay, sure. And I absolutely loved it.
So that was none other than Katie Smith. Check out that episode if you have a chance. She has a great story. She started out, like you said, you can see there, coaching youth basketball. Her dad kind of talked her into it when she was in high school. She loved it. And she has went on to now becoming a Division I assistant women's coach at Xavier University. So she has climbed the coaching ranks quickly, and just a great person. Great time talking to her about coaching in general. And I liked her perspective as a young female. And you'll like this, Mike D. Her goal was to coach within the U.S. national team system, boys teams. So she wants to actually be out there and coaching some boys. So just a great, energetic young person out there getting involved in coaching. So that's always great to see as well.
Love
what
the ambition.
inspired you to try to start your own soccer thing?
I think it probably started when I was actually playing soccer, maybe more seriously. I was a goalkeeper, so goalkeepers always have like a lot of equipment beyond cleats, and I think I was probably more obsessed with my equipment than I was with actually like playing at some point.
So that was Ben Shahabar. He is the founder and CEO of 11 Football, coming out soon, hopefully this summer. And he's in the middle of creating a soccer company of soccer shoes, turf shoes mainly. And he's a great guy. And again, one of our most recent podcasts. So now as we kind of move into that entrepreneur area, we have a couple more that definitely would like to thank. We can't even begin to thank them enough. There's been a lot of other people that have helped us on this podcast, as you know, Mike D. But Unozero and Duktig Brand FC have been fantastic. And I know you've gotten to know both of those companies now as well. So we can't thank them enough. Here's just a quick blurb from Adelaide Gay from Duktig Brand FC.
Who were just really like-minded, cool people that were trying to make the game better for players and coaches and everyone around the game. So I'm most proud of our membership and that sort of community.
And again, Adelaide Gay, she's a professional goalkeeper right now in the USL Super League for DC Power. She played in college at the University of North Carolina, but we cannot thank herself and Tiffany Weimer, the two co-founders of Duktig Brand FC, enough. They're just phenomenal. And the community they've really created within their company of their consumers and their coaches, they really have they've done an amazing job of creating this culture where you don't feel like you're just purchasing items from them. They make you feel like you're involved. So, a lot of thanks to them and all of their support over the years for our podcast. And last but not least, first thing I would like to know is, as a fan of classic leather boots, and Ryan and I have already talked about this a little bit, what was your inspiration or your motivation to start Unozero?
Absolutely. It was a personal need, Jason, to be very honest.
Love Sam.
Yeah, Sam Garzone from the founder and CEO of Unozero. Check them out. Classic football boots. Just a great person. Again, he and his wife, Andrea, have been tremendously supportive of our podcast. They've helped out with camps. They've helped out with the soccer neighborhood. And I know you developed a little bit of a relationship with them as well. So thanks to everybody that's been on here again. And Mike D, it's hard to believe, but 100 episodes. What do you think?
Man, you have created something extremely special. And congratulations to you and all the hard work that you put in. I know there's so much back end things that are going on. but it's because you're genuine and you have such a love for this game, which is why we connected right away, is that we're both kind of insanely obsessed with this game. So it was easy to talk. I remember our phone calls that were supposed to be 5 minutes ended up being 40 minutes. And then we just ended up just scheduling calls because we knew it was going to take a bulk of our day when we got on the phone with each other. Yep. But I love what you're doing. The passion's the same. What you're putting together is such a needed voice in this landscape, this jumbled landscape we have, and trying to find the honest and right people that are trying to do this for the good and for the better. You're continuing to make that filter come to life and do that. So congratulations, Jay, in all sincerity. I know I give you a lot of crap on our podcast on Sundays, but you're doing something wonderful, and no one can ever take this away from you.
Yeah, well, no problem. But now we appreciate. I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing we've created out of this.
Yeah,
our Sunday night soccer show. So make sure you tune in, check that out. We try to go live every night, every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, just to cover some things going on around the world in soccer. And that's another thing that's kind of come, from our relationship and, like you said, our passion towards the game of soccer. Never thought our graphics are a little bit better. We continue to work on those things. But if you look back on our first shows and things like that, it's hard to believe we didn't know what we were doing. I'm not sure we still know what we're doing, but we keep trying to figure it out as we go along.
Yeah, for sure. No, and again, it's great, man. It's great working with you, man. It's awesome to have someone mirror your passion, like with this game.
Yeah, and and the thing that the only advice I'd say to get people, number one, I can't, if you look up there, over 100,000 subscribers, never would have dreamed we'd receive one of those things.
Yeah.
And not that that's what it's all about by any means, but social media, and there's so many people that we just went through today, on our 100th episode, looking back, that you can meet, who knows if you and I would have ever met back in the days before social media, living in different states, and we're on the same path, doing the same things. But, there's a lot of negativity on social media, but there's also some positives that come out of it. And the people we've come across, to build the soccer neighborhood, just different people that we've reached out to. So there's been some great things out there on social media. And, and I just can't even begin to thank everyone. There's some people I've never met in person yet who have helped us, whether it's messages on, Instagram, social media, texting, things like that. And they've said, hey, how do you guys do that on your website, or this or that or whatever? And there's just a lot of great people out there who are willing to help. So if you're out there and you're thinking about getting something started, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a website, social media, some kind of a group, I promise you there's people out there that are passionate about it as well as you are. And, and just reach out to them. So,
well, that's your skill, Jay. I'll say that. Like, if you get to meet Jay in person, when we went to the conference, I was actually kind of blown away and how easy conversations come to him. Not a lot of people have that kind of social skill where they can just go up and strike a conversation, but he's extremely engaging right away, where I'm not necessarily always like that. I have to be in the right mood to kind of be like that. But you are very much just charismatic and in front of people. So there's no wonder why people are opening the doors to talk to you and want to talk to you, because you do. You're very good. You're very personable. So I'm excited to see where this thing goes, man. Like $100,000 in a year, 100 episodes in 2 years. It's fantastic, Jay.
Yeah. So we'll just keep plugging away. But again, just to wrap things up, we really appreciate everybody that's been on here. And we appreciate everyone that's going to be on here in the future. Thankful so many people supporting us, and people like Mike D and the Soccer Rebellion, all these great organizations we've come across. We're just going to keep building and continue to keep trying to change the soccer culture landscape around our country. So until next time, until the next 100 episodes, peace out from Straight from the Training Ground.